Hello everyone. I'll not kept you waiting for the for networking and everything because I can see a lot of empty spaces in the audience. So guys, let's to be honest. I don't want to keep it very long. I just want to ask you, which topic should I cover? Omni-channel strategies or data strategies? Omni-channel. Okay, perfect. All right. So, guys, welcome all of you in this great panel on omni-channel strategies and data strategies for D2C. So, to deep dive into the topic, we have the great industry leaders who have excelled omni-channel strategies. Welcome all of you. So, my first question will be for all of you as omnichannel landscape has been evolving day on day, how you guys are identifying which omnichannel is working fine for you? Uh, Starting from Jigar.
I think defining omni-channel strategy for your own business really depends on your consumer base, type of the model that you're operating in. For an example, for us as Adidas, we operate in say multi-channel model, right? For an example, you can buy an Adidas shoe on Adidas website application as well. You can go to multi-brand retail store and there also you find Adidas products. You can go to Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra and say other platforms and you can also shop there. So it really depends on your business model, that yes, how you are collecting data and how you are utilizing that data back again to say reach back to that consumer base and then say drive additional revenues and all. Yeah, for us, for an example, for Adidas, the biggest data channels are own website application as well as our retail stores, right? From where we get lots of data, but that can be very different for other businesses as well.
All right. So you already are having lots of offline data. So how are you targeting all these offline users to the online world?
Okay, so say when it comes to offline data, right? When a consumer walks into the Adidas store, of course, unlike website, I cannot collect browsing data of consumer in offline store unless consumers decides to purchase something. But yes, once the consumer has purchased anything, right? Consumer will share the email address, phone number, and we also will make that consumer a member of our loyalty program, which is Eddie Club. Once the consumer is Eddie Club member, we get to see a lots of data that yes, what that consumer is purchasing from shops, right? What category, for an example, that consumer loves originals more, or say a shoe from say running category, or say maybe something very very basic, right, from essentials category. And depending on the kind of product that consumer loves, depending on the average order value that consumer say places an order with, depending on the frequency of orders that consumer places and all, we create multiple cohorts and then say engage again with those users. Yeah.
We'll talk about the loyalty program of Adidas later on. But moving on to Mahib, how do you find which omni-channel strategies is working fine in this evolving space?
So we are 13 years old company, and I think the one of the most important thing was we started online, and it was moved to now, let's say, 200 stores in India. See, for a omni-channel strategy, you need to understand that I'm in a furniture business, right? It's a highly non-branded business. आपको बेड लेना है तो उस बेड का ब्रांड नहीं होता है, राइट? इट इज़ बेसिकली अ बेड that you would go and see that it's a teak wood, or what is a specific kind of wood that you want to buy, or you want to just buy a plywood bed, right? But at the same time, people want to do a touch and feel. So while I think traffic flows from online, the conversion happens largely offline after people look at the touch and feel, right? So for me, customer experience of touch and feel is a priority if he's buying a large AOV item, right? At the same time, we would have, let's say, a lakh product on the site, but at the same time, if you want somebody to, let's say, browse and come on your site, the repeat rate of customer you would see would be large on home. So at the same time, pricing plays a very, very important role, which again, flows through repeat customer visits on, your offline stores, because your offline strategy is completely on footfall, your online strategy is completely on a lower AOV items, right? And I think a single view of this data, which let's say comes post registration, helps us retarget them in various ways. So that's about it. Yeah.
Perfect. So as Pepperfry is having an app and they are also doing digital activities on website. So as I asked you, like for the overlapping audience, how do you track whether the user has been converted to the apps or the web? Like how do you?
So we don't have a different system for an offline store. It's a single integrated system that is also in the store, because all our stores are basically experience centers. These are not places where people can actually go and buy product. You can see, let's say, this table is nice, but you need to again come onto the website to place a product. While it is a stored, let's say, tablet or a system, but the order ID is generated separately, and once the customer ID is generated, like that's basically unique for you to club online and offline together, right? So that's basically a niche. At the same time, if let's say there is a browser on a site who is, let's say, been browsing, but let's say later on he walks onto the store, you would not know, because browser hasn't, let's say, this guy is not left his data onto the platform. But at the same time, if somebody has registered and went and buy offline, we will know about it. We will also know later that after how many browsing behavior, which is, let's say, number of pages. To give you an example, for buying a sofa, people actually do 230 odd pages of browsing before they finalize one bed, right? For a wardrobe, it's around 400 plus pages, and for a mattress, it's around, let's say, 130 140 pages, right? But what I'm trying to say is, we are a marketplace, we are not a D2C brand, so we sell Wakefit, we sell everything. At the same time, customer who comes to us knows about the technicality of the product, which means that he knows शीशे की टेबल है, right? उसको specific wood पता है. He will just look for variety and design basis, his requirement. So I think that's something at a site level that we collect a lot, and it helps you in making different cohorts to retarget them.
And how are you tackling that problem where a user has registered with cooldude69 on website and angelpriya @gmail.com on app? So and the user is similar.
If a user ID and mobile number both are different, then it's a problem. But at the same time, if both the IDs is done from a same device IDs in an app, I can still identify him, because this phone can, let's say, have an app, you uninstall it, reinstall it, until you reset this phone, there is a GID that will always be there, right? On the web it becomes challenging, but on the app I think we are still pretty sorted, because maybe two customer IDs, but I will know it's basically a single customer, because it's coming from a same device ID. So just to tell you, the data stack looks like this, right? Like your MMP will have, let's say, 300 columns if you are using, let's say, branch or any other data.
AppTrove.
Yeah, AppTrove. Okay. So when you basically look at your data, the common parameter is to retarget is basically your GID with your all the first party data. Now your first party data can be differentiated, but your GID will actually be same, or an IDFA ID if it is opt-in. So I think that's one of the process, but again, that's not 100% foolproof. But it will still solve 40-50% of your problem.
Perfect. Moving on to Yaron. Yaron, like you, how do you identify which omnichannel strategy has been, working fine?
Yeah. So from a platform
And
perspective,
first of all, welcome to India.
thank you very much. I'm always love to visit India, most welcoming country. So thank you very much. From a platform perspective, I think the most successful strategy, first of all, starts with seamless user experience. So today, user attention is spread across multiple environments: CTV, OEM, programmatic, mobile, web, and so on. Seamless experience that user attention eventually user can jump very quickly within minutes, within hours between different channels, and you need to provide him this ability. That's number one. Secondly, again, from a platform perspective, we are applying AI algorithms for real-time and effective optimization of campaigns. Eventually, the goal is to distribute the budgets in the best performing sources. And lastly, I would say in today privacy first era, and with the trends and regulations moving towards depreciation of user data, first party data is very important, and applying this first party data for predictive analytics, for improving campaign performance becomes more and more important. And I think those are the three main aspects in terms of strategy.
I'll just add to the customer experience bit. So I was in this event of Netcore, if I remember correctly, and they had this large screen, and then I saw they opened pepperfry.com on the screen, and I was like, I mean, what are they going to show, right? So on a second screen, they also opened IKEA. Now the query was buy a yellow color sofa for drawing room on Pepperfry, and there were various results. And if you have an IKEA, please try that. The same result on IKEA showed no product available, right? Because the searches that we collect every month from also the ecosystem goes and sits in the algorithm, which helps you find a product better, right? It's not about if you have a product. Wakefit only has 18,000 product, but they have built, almost around, let's say, 300 plus crore, revenue stream. It's actually about what are you offering to people, and how are they trying to find a product on your site. So the algorithm plays a very, very crucial role, because that's where your journey actually starts. So I thought, let's add to this point on the customer experience.
Perfect. So, Yaron, like you are working with most of the advertisers. So, apart from the Omnichannel, like what kind of channel is working very, very well for D2C brands, just for e-commerce?
Yeah, I think as a user acquisition platform, so we see that a media mix approach is the right approach. Eventually, there is potential in every channel. So programmatic, OEM, mobile, web, every channel has its own potential. I think applying a media mix strategy is the right strategy, and to maximize out every channel potential, you need to identify what will be the best pricing model for every channel. Some pricing models, some channels are performing best with CPM. Other channels are performing best with CPI. Affiliate channels performing best with CPA. So to maximize out the potential, you need to apply the right pricing. And how do you know the right pricing, and how do you decide about what budget allocate to what channel? Eventually, with the right tracking and with the right ROAS driven optimization, you can measure these kind of metrics and decide about the right pricing, channels, and campaign setup.
Perfect, perfect. So how about UGC? Are you guys also doing UGC for the D2C brands?
We are testing UGC creative for some of our advertisers, working with micro-influencer agencies, providing, building for us, these storytelling creatives, video creatives that help us to engage users and catch their attention.
All right. And I was seeing one app, like there was an app, so they were showing the ad just below the video. So it's kind of Roposo app. So they were having the video of multiple, a lady showing the sari, and then there was the just a snippet where they are showing the so this is what I was asking, like the UGC has been evolved so much. So Jigar, Adidas being a data heavy company, you have the data of offline retails, you have a data of online users. So how are you creating the hyper personalization marketing?
Okay, so hyper personalization happens at two different levels, right? One, if you talk about pure play marketing point of view, how we reach out to them when, say, we launch, for an example, a new shoe, versus, say, how we reach out to our Eddie Club members, right? We personalize communication at two levels. For an example, if I am launching a shoe, which is a running category shoe, in running category as well, we have different price points as well, right? Some products are aimed at beginner runners, some products are designed for, say, serious marathon runners, for an example. Some products are available at say below 8,000 rupee price point as well. Some products are above 20,000 rupee, and you cannot target all users who have purchased a running shoe with the same campaign, right? Because the kind of product that you're launching is very, very different. So what we do is whenever we collect data, we cut down our data into multiple segments, from say AOV to kind of type of product that consumer is purchasing, to frequency of purchases, and many things more. We even cut down data from say color and other point of view as well, right? So now for an example, if I'm launching a running shoe which is designed for say serious long distance runners, I would pick up a very, very niche cohort, prepare my communication plan and target those users as well, because even if I send out that communication to my entire user base, it would be useless. They will not be able to say buy the product because it is of no use to them, right? That the product is meant for say marathon running only, versus say a very, very generic product, or say the evergreen product like Samba and all, that makes sense for entire user base. I would pick up my largest cohort, I would target my communication and then say just send it out to my entire user base. So this is one kind of use case. Another, when it comes to say bringing back users, we also cut down databases, their shopping behavior, right? For an example, consumers who have shopped with us in say last year but not this year, maybe not shopped anytime in say last 6 months or last 3 months. So whenever we run any kind of promo, depending on the promo, depending on the kind of product range that we are offering, we also pick up this inactive consumer base and then say push this kind of communication so that we can bring them back, we can make them active again, we can make them shop. So yeah, completely depends on the use case.
And I was just curious, so I was reading some report. So they were showing the data of the tier 2 cities. Do you also target to the tier 2 cities? Because I see, Adidas is having a premium products.
See, of course, we get revenue from tier 2 towns, but then the quantum is very limited. The major user base is in say larger towns and all. So again, we pick up towns from where we get maximum revenue and all. We segment, we focus our energies there instead of say just broad basing and targeting pan India or so.
Perfect. So moving on to the first of all, are you guys enjoying the conversation? I just need some voice. All right, perfect. So guys, so Mahip, so in the furniture industry, it takes a lot of time for a user to to buy. They have multiple other competitor product as well. Like they see the same furniture in other websites as well. So how do you re-engage with the people? How do you create the lead and re-engage with the customers?
So I'll give you two examples. One is something that I'm already working on and it is interesting. We are launching a mattress brand called Cloudido. Okay. Now the idea is, can we sell, let's say, 80 to 100 crores this year, in next 6 months, or let's say 8 months. But for that, what is needed, right? We don't have to actually tell people what is a technicality of any mattress, but we have to sell, let's say, our brand. Now, at the same time, there are these used cases where people would be searching for, let's say on Google or let's say on any of the search engines, saying that, get me mattress or orthopedic mattress or let's say any type of mattress. So what we will do basically is we are planning to build a content which is not actually mattress but sleep. We are going to tell people that why is your work routine so pathetic? Why are we sticking to, let's say, Instagram and not sleeping? And the solution that would come is basically mattress. When people will come on our site, my mattress would be 2,000 rupees cheaper than Wakefit, and with free insurance and warranty. And this is what works because एक बार जब वो mattress घर पे आ गया, उसके बाद mattress cover के बाद याद नहीं रहता वो is it a sleep well or whatever. But the point is this, you need to actually look at what is the opportunity in market and how do you tell the people that this is the problem that you are solving, right? Whether it is brushing your teeth with a toothpaste, or I think getting a good sleep on a mattress, it all goes back to I think solving a problem. And I think this is one of the things that we kept thinking that as a marketplace, do I need to actually tell people spring है इस पे आप सोओगे तो 3 बार आपको अच्छा लगेगा. This is basically an orthopedic matter. It is made of, let's say, this particular material. But I think that's a job of a D2C brand whose product is already in the market. But because this has been outsourced and, let's say, white labeled, if I'm selling an orthopedic mattress associated with pepper fry, but solving sleep as a problem and building content around it, I think it's much more easier for us. So that's a way I look at it.
And do Pepper Fry also focus on the impulse buying? They, if somebody is buying the mattress, you can pitch them the bed sheet.
Yeah, so
You also do that?
so cross sell is a most common category. I worked with Flipkart for 5 years, and even with Big Basket. So like last 10, 11 years only in e-commerce. So for example, for mattress right now, mattress protector is something that you would see in the recommended products by default on the site. But at the same time, at any point of time, I'll at least have 150 plus journeys live only for cross sell, because that's my 8% of the revenue. Now this 8% of the revenue generation is running basis the cross-sell logic that we have seen over years, and this is the data that first-party data that I am utilizing for me to know that if, let's say, 10 people sees this ad, or let's say I'm sending them a push notification, or let's say an emailer, what is a type of emailer that this guy would be looking at, right? You would be surprised to know that I actually know that on certain days the orange color homepage left side banner works really well than a red color banner, and that's a level of data that we actually have today, right? Because from the beginning all the tech stack is in house, and the founders were always tech savvy. So I'm grateful to actually be part of such I think data center around it. Yeah.
Perfect. Glad to hear that. So Yaron, you being an ad mobile first ad platform, so you are working with a lot of D2Cs. So how do you seamlessly utilize and connect the data of the brands? They are having the offline data, they are having the website data, they are having the app data. How do you connect these kind of data sets and and give them the ROI?
Definitely a big challenge, and the inventory, the ad formats, technologies constantly evolve. I think first of all, applying a multi-touch attribution with the tracking CRMs or the MMPs or the partner management platform, applying the multi-touch attribution is important. So every aspect of the user journey can be tracked. That's number one. Secondly, I would say that on top of the multi-touch attribution, every channel need to be measured on his incrementality, right? So today there are channels that create some cannibalization within their contribution. Incrementality measurement is important, and the right setup with your tracking provider to measure this aspect is critical. And lastly, I think cross-platform attribution is also very important to provide these abilities for incrementality, for multi-touch tracking, measuring.
Perfect. So like you are working with the programmatic, you are having DSP, you are having a programmatic platform. So can you briefly describe what is IRTB?
So IRTB is more a product designed for publishers. To provide a monetization solution. We give holistic monetization with branding and performance campaigns, eventually improving fill rates, CPMs, and win rate for our publishers. So we have the vision of reviewing branding campaigns, their goals and their priorities, as well as performance campaigns, what are their goals, and optimizing down funnel events for them.
Perfect. And how are you liking India?
I like the food, I like the people, but I think people are the best.
Don't eat too spicy food. You will.
I love spicy.
Okay. All
India
right.
teach me about
I'll
spicy.
call you in the morning then. All right. So, last question. One key takeaway for the audience, who wants to build the omni-channel strategy. So, you can just highlight that one key takeaway from the conversation, or maybe the strategies that you have implemented in the brand.
So, I guess when it is very, very essential to understand your consumer base, to, slice and dice the data and retarget them, you also get an opportunity not to overcrowd them with your messages, I guess, using your omni-channel strategy. So, it is a win-win for both, right?
But I think the harassment is one of the part of the market here that we
No.
usually do.
Not
Spamming.
not
We
modern
accept
day
it with pleasure.
yeah. So I guess omni-channel strategy is a right balance between, say, right messaging to right consumers at right time, and
Mahib, for you.
See, I'll tell you, all of us sitting here cannot build an omni-channel. It is a headache, right? But I think at the same time, if you ask me one thing, I think that would be depth of a product. People love browsing, right? And whenever you are upset, at least I am upset, I love shopping. So imagine, going to Amazon and searching something which you have actually not planned and you still get it, right? I think that's the level of depth if you can build. Uh, and the quality of product is, I think, decent. I think the job is done. So yeah.
For you, Yaron.
I think the main key takeaway, and after this discussion, especially, it's clear for everyone the complexity in the market and the challenges today. So I think today, if looking on future, EdTech, Martech is not about driving a volume of conversions or sales or clicks or impressions. It's about unifying all this data, unifying all these algorithms into one integrated trading desk that have the ability to manage effectively all the channels, all the data, and provide the positive ROAS for you as a brand.
Perfect. All right. So, guys, if you have any questions, just let us know. If not, then we can wrap up the session. All right. Please. Just 1 minute, maybe, I'm so sorry then. Uh, off stage, yes. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining us for this, the wonderful conversation. Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
I think we can also have a round of